You are needed. Every life matters. Join us on June 11th in Tallahassee. For more information, go to themensmarch.com.
St. Joseph is a patron saint of home and family. At My Mutual Mortgage of Grapevine, we support the Guadalupe Radio Network's mission of honoring and supporting home and family as longtime sponsors of KATH 910 AM.
We're Bob and Norma Duane, owners of My Mutual Mortgage of Grapevine. We would be honored to speak with you about all your mortgage needs. We can be reached at 817-527-3166. That's 817-527-3166. We are an equal housing lender, NMLS 265303.
I'll bet you know by now that Amazon Smile is a great way to support your favorite charity. And supporting the Guadalupe Radio Network while you shop is easy. Step 1. Just start off at smile.amazon.com. Step 2. Choose La Promesa Foundation as your charity. La Promesa Foundation is the parent company of Guadalupe Radio Network. And Step 3. Enjoy your shopping. Amazon will donate a portion of your purchase to the La Promesa Foundation, and it doesn't cost you any extra. La Promesa Foundation and Guadalupe Radio Network, thank you.
Hello, my name is Liz Martz. My husband Bill and I own MasterTech Auto Repair in Plano. We are proud sponsors of Catholic Radio. Our family has been parishioners of St. Gabriel's in McKinney for many years. MasterTech is a full-service auto repair for all vehicles, from oil changes to complete engine replacement or transmission service. We are located just across the street from St. Mark's Parish in Plano. You can contact us at 972-578-1841 or www.mastertechplano.com. Thank you, and may you have a blessed day.
Welcome to Back to the Father, a show about the journey of life focused on our final end, which is God Himself, our loving Father. And now, here's your host, Dave Palmer.
And welcome, everybody, to another edition of Back to the Father here on the Guadalupe Radio Network's social media sites. We're glad you're with us. This is a program that airs once a week, every Friday at 2 o'clock Central Time. The time may be changing in the coming weeks. We'll keep you posted on that. It'll give you at least 1 week notice so you can make sure you catch us at the right time. But it probably won't be for the next couple of weeks. But we might be changing just like 1 hour, okay? But we'll be approximately the same time. And we focus on the teachings of St. Thomas Aquinas, especially in his masterpiece, the Summa Theologia. And I always have a wonderful cast of helpers, co-hosts here with me. We're a little thin today because one of our co-hosts is not with us. And by the way, happy feast of Our Lady of Fatima. If you listen to our share-a-thons and you listen to me on the air, you'll know that I have a very, very great devotion to Our Lady of Fatima. And I have a son who was born on this day 9 years ago, so happy birthday to my little buddy Patrick, and also a daughter who was born on September 13th of 2008. And so those are two of the Fatima dates, and so I feel like Our Lady of Fatima has really blessed our family greatly. So I do love her, and we ask for her intercession, and it really ties into what we're talking about today as well. But before that, let me introduce our cast of characters. And what a character she is. Cecil Anderson,
Hello.
how you doing?
I'm doing
In a different
well.
seat today.
In a different seat today. Got the hat back because I was getting some criticism for my headwear that wasn't quite a hat.
So I guess this wouldn't be the time for me to criticize that one.
Are you going to criticize my
Well,
hat?
it's kind of blocking your face a
Well,
little
you
bit.
know, okay, here.
Yeah, maybe kind of spin it around because I think it's important that people see your face. Okay, there you go.
How do
All
we
right.
think? What do we think?
Thistle likes hats.
I do. Yes.
Okay.
I feel like Carmen Sandiego. See, Buddy likes the hat.
Oh, okay. All right. And if Buddy's
Here, I'll
happy,
take the glasses off.
if Buddy's happy, we're all happy, right?
Exactly,
isn't that
exactly.
interesting? Yeah, that's my son's nickname, my little Buddy.
Oh, yeah,
okay?
that's right.
And I think this Buddy that's his nickname as well. Okay, because he has like an online handle that he uses.
I like it.
I know he's got a different name in real life. He wasn't born. His parents didn't say his name is Buddy.
Oh, that's a great name if it was.
Does anybody have the name Buddy? I mean, just
Buddy
named
the Elf,
like,
isn't he?
Buddy the Elf.
That's all I could think
He
of.
never had another name, did he?
I don't think so.
No, I think, all right. And then on the other side of the glass is, you know her, you love her. Sometimes you think you can't live without her. Diane Xavier. How you doing,
Hello,
Diane?
I am doing great. How are you all doing on our Feast of Our Lady of Fatima?
I love how Sissel has to move out of the way.
My hat covers her up quite well. Though Diane said she didn't really want to be that much on camera today, so I think the hat is helping
Well,
her.
for somebody, yeah.
I have bad allergies. I'll be coughing throughout the whole thing.
You ever sit in a movie? I don't know why. My mind's going crazy. Like, I'm sitting in a movie theater with somebody with a big hat. I sat behind.
It's not a common problem these days, I feel like.
Well, but it's happened to me before.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
not just a movie theater, but like at a show or
I
a
see
concert.
what you mean.
Especially some people wear really big hats, and you're like, you
even a
can't see
cowboy
'em.
hat can cover quite a bit, I feel like.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're a little goofy, and we're gonna have some fun today. Actually, very serious topic, and I'm very, very interested in getting everybody's take on this. So, if you are among our faithful viewers who come and watch this every week, and you're with us today, I'd love to get your take because this is something that I feel very strongly about, and it is the restoration of Christian philosophy according to the mind of St. Thomas Aquinas. I've talked very often about this encyclical from 1879 called Aeterni Patris, and really the name of this show, Back to the Father, is tied into that because Aeterni Patris in Latin means eternal Father, which are among the opening words of this encyclical that Pope Leo XIII wrote back in 1879. And so today we're going to kind of digest it. We've never actually gone through the text,
No,
have we?
you've only just like alluded to it and used little bits and pieces of it. So I'm kind of excited. I did kind of joke earlier this week when you told me what the topic was going to be. I was like, wait, is it required to have read the source material before we go into it?
Not required. But,
I did skim over it a little bit.
It's it's not the
it's not long. I would like to point that
but
out.
It's kind of dense.
It is very dense, yes.
Yeah. And I've read it probably 6-7 times. I skimmed it in preparation of this. I know what it's about, and I know the flow of it and everything, but I love it. And so there's going to be some reading in the show today because I don't want to just summarize it because Leo's wording is so much more beautiful than I could describe. So everybody bear with me, and I think you're going to enjoy this. But by way of kind of explanation, here is a picture of the encyclical. There is the author of it, Pope Leo XIII. Pope Leo XIII was Pope at the end of the 19th century. Okay, so he wrote this in 1879, August 4th. And he wrote, I think, it's hard to believe, but gosh, I may get this wrong, but I want to say like 70 encyclicals.
Oh, my.
He wrote a lot.
Is there like an average number of encyclicals that popes write, do you think?
Well, John Paul II wrote a lot.
He wrote a lot, yeah.
He wrote a lot. I don't think he wrote that many, and I may be off. I just know he wrote a lot,
Right.
but this was the third one he wrote.
Interesting.
Okay, so this was kind of on his mind, and it's called On the Restoration of Christian Philosophy. And if you have you been watching this show and you kind of know me, you know that I think that we teach philosophy way too late. I think if people, I think a lot of people go through their entire life without ever taking a philosophy class. Some people only take what I would consider bad philosophy. They're learning about Descartes and Nietzsche and Sartre and the existentialists and that kind of thing. They never really get the other side of it, which I think is St. Thomas Aquinas. And just a little bit of background. Leo wrote this in 1879, and the whole purpose, as he's going to explain here, was because he looked out at the landscape of what was going on in the culture, and he said, no bueno. This is, he didn't speak Spanish, but he basically saying, hey, we got problems here. There's some big-time problems. What's going to be the solution? And he came to the conclusion that, among other things, it's not the only solution, but they had to return to teaching St. Thomas Aquinas in Catholic schools, Catholic universities, Catholic colleges. And interestingly, I think he alludes to the fact that it ought to be young people. I don't think he was just talking about colleges, certainly seminarians. So I got a few slides here, and this is kind of, would you say this kind of defines in many ways young people today? I mean,
yes,
I know.
Unfortunately.
I mean,
well, I always like to say, like, young people are quite addicted to their phones, but I do think there are a lot of, like, their parents are also quite bad on the phones.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one thing that does bug me from time to time, that we're always blaming the young people for being on their phones, but you look up at the parents, they're holding their phone too, and I'm like, it's not just just because you're now an adult doesn't mean that you also can't be addicted to the phone.
That is true, and I think it's everybody, but when we're talking about when we should hit people with a good education, by the time, I'm in my mid-50s, and I have a lot to learn, and there's tons of things that I can learn, but I wish I had learned a lot of things when I was 15 or 10 or 20, because I really didn't even start learning philosophy until I was in my 40s.
It's also like, I feel like the older you get, you have much more on your plate that you're thinking about. So, trying to think about tackling those big questions in philosophy, you're like, I can't.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just trying to remember to pay my bills and do all these other things.
Change diapers.
Yeah, there's a lot of other things drawing your attention.
And also, I think young people have, more kind of their minds. I mean, I've always used the example of teaching a language. I think it's a lot easier to learn a language when you're 3 or 4 than when you're 50, because your mind is just like a sponge. And so why not teach? And when I say 3 and 4, I think we should be teaching 3 and 4-year-olds philosophy at age-appropriate levels. So, all right, so we got that. And I think you're absolutely right to not just blame the kids. The kids are basically a product of what the adults have allowed them to do. And then we also, on the more sinister side, have this, all the riots and the discord and the fight for all the rights and confusion about what sex people are and whether we should or should not be able to kill babies in the womb, and it's just crazy. I mean, the world has gone absolutely nuts.
Oh yeah.
And what do you notice about all the people in the top right picture there? None of them are.
None of them are
smiling.
Oh, I was like, wait, no, there's men there. There's
you were thinking like none of them are like a race or something.
Yeah, I was like, what are we doing? I was like, none of them are smiling.
Yeah,
You're right.
none of them are smiling. They all look very sad, and I think there is it's just a fact that there's a lot of depression among young people these days, a lot of anxiety. I mean, you work, very closely with young people, and you may know that.
It's a big problem.
And of course, that's not a broad brush. We work, a guy like Jonathan, who, oh, by the way, we didn't, Jonathan.
Poor Jonathan's just like, he's probably watching, going like, wow, guys.
Hey, what about me?
Wow, I guess I'm just gone.
I just jumped right into it.
Yeah, we got distracted by hats and other things. Yes, our dear intern Jonathan is not here with us today, which is kind of sad, which is also why I'm probably more distracted than usual, because I'm doing his job right now.
yeah, you've got to do all the so anyways, John, and the reason I thought of Jonathan is that he doesn't fit that mold. He's a very joyful guy. I think he has a thirst for knowledge and learning, and he likes politics. He
loves playing his banjo.
He's a patriot. I mean, he's just a well-rounded guy. Okay, so if you're listening,
except for not knowing who Marilyn Monroe was.
Yeah, pop culture-wise,
not great.
He didn't know. So there's all the pictures together on the next slide.
He's in training this week, so pray for him, please.
So probably not watching.
Probably not.
The
but he might watch the replay.
Maybe he's gathered around.
He's gotten the whole camp
screen.
There. They're just all watching us right now.
Watching the show.
All on one computer. That's why we only have 4 people on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right. See, the four is a lot of people represented by those 4.
Yes.
So yeah, without a doubt.
There's theaters full of people.
Okay, so be sure to comment. We love to hear from you if you want to weigh in on some of the topics that we're talking about today.
I have a couple comments I forgot. I missed from Buddy. He said, I would not have had a negative outlook on philosophy if I was exposed to St. Thomas Aquinas at a younger age. That's a good point.
Yeah, so he said none of them are.
I think he's talking about in the picture. None of them are Christian.
Okay.
I would probably agree that none of them are probably not. Yeah,
the question was way too general on my part. So
no, that's okay.
Because there's a lot of things that you could have said.
Yeah, I was like, wait.
All right. So, all right. Well, buddy, thanks for the comments. Appreciate it. Glad you're out there. And interesting that he said he had a negative outlook on philosophy.
Yeah.
I used to wonder if we're even allowed to do philosophy, because somebody at some point in my life must have told me that philosophy is bad.
It's not Christian or something like
Yeah,
that. I
yeah.
could see that. Yeah, it's a good point, because some people are like, oh, you shouldn't be studying anything but Christian. You know, you shouldn't have
Like,
you
yeah,
shouldn't
just theology.
Just like theology, do not even tempt your brain outside of that.
Yeah,
which
but
is
I think that's
interesting.
very Protestant.
That is very Protestant. I was
Yeah.
going to say that's not a Catholic thing.
Yeah, and I think, but yeah, I just remember, you know.
And if I remember correctly, Buddy grew up Protestant.
Okay.
So
But
that might be
buddy,
why he has
Are you a convert?
Yeah.
I think he said none of them are correct. Okay, he was talking about that picture. All right, so let's get right into it. And again, bear with me here, because I can't really explain this without going through some of the text. And so I think after reading this, tell me whether or not you think this applies as much to 2022 as it does to 1879, when Leo XIII wrote this. Okay, so on the restoration of Christian philosophy, he says, and this is the very opening lines of the encyclical. He said, the only begotten Son of the Eternal Father. And did you know that in encyclicals, the name is always taken from the first line of the encyclical?
I didn't know that, but that makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah, so I had learned it was the first words, but and maybe in Latin, Eternal Father came first in the sentence.
The way the sentence structure
but
is,
that's
yeah.
where Eternal Father, Aeterni Patris comes
Got
from.
it.
So the only begotten Son of the Eternal Father, who came on earth to bring salvation and the light of divine wisdom to men, conferred a great and wonderful blessing on the world when, about to ascend again into heaven, he commanded the apostles to go and teach all nations, and left the church, which he had founded, to be the common and supreme teacher of all peoples. Okay, so easy enough. When Jesus left, he was no longer physically here, so the church had the responsibility to educate, teach, and lead all souls to heaven, right? So he goes on and says, since then, according to the warning of the apostle, the minds of Christ's faithful are apt to be deceived, and the integrity of the faith to be corrupted among men by philosophy and vain deceit. The supreme pastors of the church have always thought it their duty to advance by every means in their power science truly so called, and at the same time to provide with special care that all studies should accord with the Catholic faith, especially philosophy, on which a right interpretation of the other sciences in great part depends. So what he's saying here is that if we are going to understand biology and chemistry and, you know, anthropology and sociology, then you have to have first a good philosophy. You know, you have to know how to think. And also philosophy helps you to understand divine revelation as well. So like we were talking about a moment ago, when some people say, oh no, it's only divine revelation and no philosophy. Thomas would argue, and Leo is saying here, that seminary formation starts with philosophy. Okay, so if you go to seminary, you learn philosophy first. Why? Because it helps you to understand the higher truths of divine revelation. Right. So does that make sense? Mm-hmm. If anybody has any questions along the way, by all means, chime in and let us know if you have any. And but anyways, let me go on, because the next thing says, by reason of the gravity of the subject and condition of the time, we are again compelled to speak to you on the mode of taking up the study of philosophy, which shall respond most fitly to the excellence of faith, and at the same time be consonant with the dignity of human science. So he's saying here he's seeing some bad vibes.
He's feeling the bad vibes.
He's feeling bad vibes.
Okay.
And Leo was the one who gave us the St. Michael the Archangel prayer. Okay,
right.
So he definitely
was feeling some warfare, spiritual.
And I think he had a dream where the devil appeared to him, and that's where he came up with the St. Michael the Archangel prayer. So,
got it.
And I don't know why Leo isn't canonized. I wish he would be, but
I keep forgetting he's not.
Yeah,
that's so weird.
They never ask us these things.
They should go to Guadalupe Radio, specifically Dave Palmer, and just give us 15 people that you think should be saints right now. Let's go.
And if you weren't, you're still alive, so I can't nominate you.
Right.
But
that's true. Yeah. That's too bad.
So now, next paragraph, he says, whosoever turns his attention to the bitter strifes of these days and seeks a reason for the troubles, I've used this quote on the program before, that vex public and private life, must come to the conclusion that a fruitful cause of the evils which now afflict, as well as those which threaten us, lies in this, that false conclusions concerning divine and human things, which originated in the schools of philosophy, have now crept into all orders of the state and have been accepted by the common consent of the masses.
Okay, so
does that
Pope
make sense?
Leo is a little bit easier to understand than St. Thomas, but I want to make sure I'm getting that right. What he's saying, is he just basically saying that you can see how like bad philosophies have gotten into every part of the culture? Is that what he's trying to say? Basically,
he's saying now in 1879 you wouldn't have had Hollywood and all that. But if somebody were to say, why is Hollywood putting out so many bad movies? Why are there so many bad books out there? Why the pornography? Why is higher education so corrupt? Why why politicians are just so bad? What he's saying here is that it's bad. It started with bad philosophy. And so we've got these bad I think people underestimate the power of philosophers. Speaking of, name those philosophers.
Hold on. Are we
all
playing
right,
another
between
game?
you and Buddy and everybody else who's watching right
Hold on,
now.
I've lost my mouse.
See if you can get all 7 of these.
Oh dear.
Do you remember? We've gone over most of these
Yeah,
guys.
I know, Dave.
We did
Aristotle.
No, there's actually wait.
No, you think Aristotle's in there, Diane? No. These are all bad philosophers.
Okay. Is it the guy on the? Okay, I'm gonna get this all right.
And since you're guessing, I will watch the comments to see if anybody wants to chime in.
They all start blending in. Like I very distinctly remember all these.
And you don't have to match them. Like that's.
Thank goodness.
Do you remember we did a whole show? The guy, the pessimist dude.
Yes.
Do you remember him?
Yes. What was his name? Hold on.
Or can you would you remember which one he was?
Wasn't he the one with the crazy, like the bottom left? Is that him?
Yeah.
Bottom left? Yes.
Yeah. Arthur Schopenhauer.
Oh, Arthur Schopenhauer. Yes, I knew it was.
I wouldn't expect you to remember that.
Yeah. Well, he had a pretty distinctive name, so I should know something. Okay, hold on a second.
I wonder, young people should make that haircut.
So Kant's on this, right?
Yeah. Kant, very good.
Which one is he? I don't remember exactly.
Kant's one that looks like the Englishman.
This one right here, the bottom to the right next to Arthur Schopenhauer.
Yeah. It looks like George Washington.
Okay,
right next to Schopenhauer.
So this guy. Okay, Schopenhauer.
Okay, so that's Immanuel Kant.
Okay, and then Nietzsche.
Okay,
is he the bottom right?
Yeah. Yes. See, you're doing better than you thought.
And then above Nietzsche, is that no? Hold on a second.
You're having a little conversation with yourself, aren't you?
I'm having a moment.
Okay, let me see.
Kierkegaard is on here. No, not Kierkegaard. No, because he's not a bad. Never mind.
No, Kierkegaard was a Christian.
Was a Christian, so he wasn't necessarily a bad.
Okay, so Buddy. Don't look at the screen.
I'm not looking.
Do you want Buddy's help or no? Do you want to try it?
Phone a friend. I got it. Hold on a second. I got some. Victor is also on here. He says Descartes. I forgot to mention Descartes. Good job, Victor.
Okay. And Buddy's has gotten some too. So Descartes is the one, the middle top. Okay. So far we have not gotten top right. And we have not gotten...
he's so distinctive. Then Voltaire is another one from Victor that he's guessing.
Okay. No, Voltaire's not on there. He could be, but I don't have Voltaire on there.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So let's see if...
Who's that bottom top? The top right? He's someone that I know. I've seen that picture many times.
Okay. So which one now?
We haven't... You said we haven't gotten the top right?
No, I don't think so. You haven't gotten top left, top right, or the bearded guy next to Nietzsche. And that one you should probably get. That one's pretty good. Now, Buddy got that one.
Oh, we haven't said Marx yet, have we?
Yeah. Okay. You know who that is, right?
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Okay.
Buried in London, of all places.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. He's a German, but he's buried in London. Yeah. Okay.
Plato?
No, there's none of the original, like the three.
These are all more modern philosophers. The oldest one would be Descartes, and he was like 16th century. So top left, top right.
Left, top, right. Okay, the one on the far left, honestly, is completely confusing me.
That one's a little more.
Because he's old. That's an older look. Is it no, or is he?
Karl Marx.
We said Marx.
We already said Marx. So top left is confusing you?
Yeah, top left is confusing. Top right is the one that I'm annoyed by because I know him.
Yeah, you'll get that one. Yeah. Okay, top left. Let me just make sure nobody got it because I don't want to steal their thunder. Top left is William of Ockham. The father of nominalism.
Yes, that's right.
And and he lived right after Aquinas. And
I'm not gonna lie, at this point, I'm starting to get confused which ones I've guessed, like which names I've already thrown out. We said Descartes, right?
Yeah, Descartes middle top.
That's right.
Okay, so William Ockham is going clockwise.
We said Kant.
Yeah, Kant was George Washington.
Right.
Yeah. And so then you got Arthur Schopenhauer, Karl Marx, Friedrich Nietzsche, Descartes. William of Ockham, and then the only one nobody's gotten yet is that very kind of top right. As soon as I say it, you're gonna. I think we did a whole show on him.
I'm sure we did. That's why I'm annoyed. Wait,
you want me to
hold
tell
on.
you, or do you want to
Can you give me a hint?
Let's see. The dialectic. He believes in the dialectic, like synthesis, antithesis.
All these things are so.
And he influenced
St. Thomas Aquinas.
No.
Diane, how dare you? No, he influenced Karl Marx with material dialecticism.
Why can't I remember this name? Is it a German name?
Yes.
This is really annoying
German.
me.
And
I guess I'm gonna have to give up because I don't think
because the show can't just go on
forever. Wait, did we say no, we said
we did Schopenhauer.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the guy.
I give up. Okay, I give up. Sorry.
Hegel's.
Hegel! Diane!
Thank you, Diane.
Diane for the win.
I'm so annoyed.
So that's Georg Hegel on the top right.
Got it.
The Hegelian dialectic. How'd you know that one, Diane? You've been paying attention, haven't you?
I have. I was just thinking about past shows.
Oh, okay. Diane's got a very good memory.
She does have a very good, but she's the one who should really be answering these questions.
No, you didn't. You like worn out.
I'm tired now.
That should be the slogan of this show: wearing out one viewer at a time. So they're just like, oh my gosh. Okay, so let's move on.
It wasn't supposed to be trivia time yet.
Okay. All right. He moves on and says, in the first place, philosophy, if rightly made use of by the wise, in a certain way tends to smooth and fortify the road to true faith and to prepare the souls of its disciples for the fit reception of revelation. Isn't that beautiful? For which reason it is well called by ancient writers sometimes a stepping stone to the Christian faith, sometimes the prelude and help of Christianity. So what he's saying here is he's reiterating that you got to know philosophy before you're really going to be able to grasp the deeper truths of the Christian faith. Okay, so its solid foundations having thus been laid, a perpetual and varied service is further required of philosophy in order that sacred theology may receive and assume the nature, form, and genius of a true science. All right, so very important. Okay, next slide. He goes through a bunch of the other Christian philosophers like Jerome and Augustine and Chrysostom and Damascene, and then he moves on. Leo does, and he gets to the point saying, we need to study the scholastics, okay? So here in this next slide, he says, later on, the doctors of the Middle Ages, who are called scholastics, addressed themselves to a great work, that of diligently collecting, sifting, and storing up, as it were, in one place, for the use and convenience of posterity, the rich and fertile harvests of Christian learning scattered abroad in the voluminous works of the Holy Fathers. That ready and close coherence of cause and effect, that order and array as of a disciplined army in battle, those clear definitions and distinctions, that strength of argument and those keen discussions by which light is distinguished from darkness, the true from the false, expose and strip naked, as it were, the falsehoods of heretics wrapped around by a cloud of subterfuges and fallacies. Isn't that like good writing?
That was very beautiful. I mean, like in the way the words were like, you put it together.
Nice turn of phrase.
Yes, good job, Pope Leo XIII.
So he's well done.
He was waiting for me to compliment him.
Gets a smiley face.
Yes.
So all right. So the scholastics, he's saying, are the ones that brought it all together.
They just basically took what was past and current, philosophy, so that it was all kind of easier for people to look through and have all the defenses of the faith.
Yeah, almost. So you don't have to go back and read
all
all
in
the
that
ones
one volume from over here.
I mean, the scholastic age in the Middle Ages were awesome.
So they're like I'm trying to think of the encyclopedia gap. They put together like the encyclopedia.
The modern day Wikipedia.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were the modern day Wikipedia, except for they had probably better actual reliable information because not anyone can edit it.
Do you find Wikipedia not be very reliable?
Well, because almost anyone can edit it, so so it can be a little bit iffy and some opinions in there. But overall,
don't you have to be authorized to edit? I just can't go in there and change dates
I don't think it
around,
takes as much as you think to become authorized. I think is the thing. Yeah,
I've always found it to be pretty
decently accurate. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure they have fact checkers. Right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so now here we go to the reaching a crescendo here. He says, among the scholastic doctors, the chief and master of all towers, guess who?
I was trying to come up with a funny answer, and I literally couldn't come up with anything.
I was like,
St. Thomas Aquinas.
I mean, come on, yeah.
No, I was trying to come up with something goofy,
and
I
find something, yeah, like.
And my brain just couldn't compute.
You could have said Jace Palmer.
Jace Palmer. The only thing that was coming to my brain was John the Apostle, which made sense.
What would that come from?
It's not even funny. It doesn't even make sense. I was trying to come up with something wittier than that.
So Leo here is saying, okay, the greatest of all the scholastic ones was Thomas Aquinas, who, because he most venerated the ancient doctrines of the church, in a certain way seemed to have inherited the intellect of all. The doctrines of those illustrious men, listen to this analogy, like the scattered members of a body, Thomas collected together and cemented, distributed in wonderful order, and so increased with important additions that he is rightly and deservedly esteemed the special bulwark and glory of the Catholic faith. That's a nice compliment.
I was gonna say if the Summa was published today and Pope Leo was asked to write the review blurb on the back, that would be probably what he he would be the one. He's like, this is it. That's really nice.
That says a lot. All right. So next one says, now he's kind of bragging on Aquinas. Okay. And the whole point of this is he's saying Aquinas needs to be put back in schools. Aquinas needs to be taught. He says, it is known that nearly all the founders and lawgivers of the religious orders commanded their members to study and religiously adhere to the teachings of St. Thomas, fearful lest any of them should swerve I think I left something out there, Eve. So something, fill in the blank. John the Apostle, okay. Now he has a couple of quotes from popes, okay. Blessed Urban V said, it is our will which we hereby enjoin upon you, that ye follow the teaching of Blessed Thomas as the true and Catholic doctrine, and that you labor with all your force to profit by the same. In this, okay, my gosh, I did some weird edits here. Then he said, don't leave it in the slightest degree from the footsteps of so great a man. So, okay, then Innocent VI said, his teaching above all the others, the canonical writings alone accepted, Scripture, enjoys such a precision of language, an order of matters, a truth of conclusions, that those who hold to it are never found swerving from the path of truth, and he who dare assail it will always be suspected of error. Wow. So if you're raising teenagers, would you like to say that they never are found swerving from the path of truth? Wouldn't that be a nice compliment?
That would be a fantastic compliment.
Okay.
Was not a compliment I received.
You sometimes swerve from the truth, like in trivia time.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. Very much so.
All right. So we're coming to the end here. Any comments? Anybody got?
No, I think everyone's just.
Have I put everybody to sleep?
Yeah, either they're asleep or they're just really so focused on listening, Dave. Whichever one will help you sleep better.
Maybe they're not even with us any longer. Maybe they're just completely like, you know what, I got better things to do. But no, seriously, I really do believe in this strongly. And
it's crazy how quickly, because St. Thomas, wasn't an early, Christian, but how many people after he put together the Summa and all of others' writings immediately were like, this is where we need to go. This is where like the orders need to be based off of. And things like that. It's crazy.
And it's kind of fallen off. I mean,
which is also kind of crazy that you have all these people like praising it. Even by Pope Leo's time, he was saying like we need to put it back.
And that was
stuff.
only like
a few hundred years, a couple hundred.
1879, 150 years ago. Yeah, that was 150 years ago.
And how much time would it have been between Saint? I always get confused. Like between Saint Thomas and Pope Leo.
Thomas died in 1274, and then 18. So almost
600,
exactly, 600 years. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's good.
Interesting.
All right, so we got 4 more slides, okay? So and hone in and listen to this. This is pretty cool, okay? He's now this is Leo talking. He said the chief and special glory of Thomas, one which he has shared with none of the Catholic doctors, is that the Fathers of Trent, the Council of Trent, made it part of the order of conclave to lay upon the altar, together with sacred Scripture and the decrees of the Roman pontiffs, the Summa of St. Thomas Aquinas. Okay, did you know
Summa
that?
of tea.
Of tea. I don't know what happened here. Why?
They've had a day.
my cutting and pasting apparently
Cut it and pasted a little more than you intended.
Yeah, I cut a little more than I should
kind of
have.
anticlimactic,
Okay?
the Summa of tea.
So you've got the Protestant Reformation, right? 16th century. Trent is called to answer the Protestant Reformation, and Luther and all these, the Protestant fathers are, arguing against, the Catholic doctrine and justification and, all this kind of stuff. What do? They take sacred scripture and then they take the Summa in order to respond to this, all right? Now, this next paragraph is pretty interesting. It says, "For it has come to light that there were not lacking among the leaders of heretical sects some who openly declared that if the teaching of St. Thomas Aquinas were only taken away, they could easily battle with all Catholic teachers, gain the victory, and abolish the church." And then Leo says, "A vain hope indeed, but no vain testimony." So he's basically saying, no, even if the Summa had never been written, that the heretics are not going to defeat the church because you still have sacred scripture and you still have, we're not dependent on the Summa.
It just helps a lot.
It just helps a lot. And so the heretics were saying, gosh, if only the Summa, the St. Thomas would go away, then we could take the church down. I mean that's a
bold claim.
Yeah, that's a very bold claim. Yeah. Okay, so with wise forethought, therefore, not a few of the advocates of philosophical studies, when turning their minds recently to the practical reform of philosophy, aim at restoring the renowned teaching of Thomas Aquinas and winning it back to its ancient beauty. We exhort them to hold fast to their purpose and remind each and all of you that our first and most cherished idea is that you should all furnish to studious youth, a generous and copious supply of those purest streams of wisdom flowing inexhaustibly from the precious fountainhead of the angelic doctor. All right, so what is youth? I think of youth as being teens. All right, so what is he saying here? We need to teach young people Thomistic philosophy. And then he says, in the first place, then, since the tempest that is on us, the Christian faith, is being constantly assailed by the machinations and craft of a certain false wisdom, all youths, but especially those who are the growing hope of the church, meaning seminarians, should be nourished on the strong and robust food of doctrine, that so, mighty in strength and armed at all points, they may become habituated to advance the cause of religion with force and judgment. I mean, that could be written in 2022. I mean, you've got like these people that don't know the faith. They're totally confused. They're being bought in by all the nonsense that the kids are picking up on social media and stuff like that today. They need something to combat it. Okay, 2 more slides, and then we'll open it up for discussion and fun with trivia. Okay. All right, 2 more slides. He says, domestic and civil society even, which, as all see, is exposed to great danger from this plague of perverse opinions, would certainly enjoy a far more peaceful and secure existence if a more wholesome doctrine were taught in the universities and high schools.
Ah, there he goes.
There it is. I didn't add that. I promise. One more in conformity with the teaching of the church, such as is contained in the work of St. Thomas Aquinas. So he's saying, I mean, what high schools are teaching St. Thomas Aquinas?
Very few.
Very few of them, yeah.
I'm sure they exist, but very few.
I mean, I went to a Catholic high school. I'd be curious if anybody is watching.
Of a school, or did you go to a school that had?
Did you learn any?
Aquinas?
I mean, if I did learn it, I don't remember.
I think I've said it in the past, but we have obviously in my curriculum we did do philosophy, and I don't remember I don't think I read the whole thing, but we had a book called Introduction to St. Thomas Aquinas, and that was long before we were Catholic. And
it's
I
want to say, one, yeah,
it's actually a big one. It was
really?
Big.
Oh, okay.
It was a really big book, but I know we read at least excerpts from it.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, you were an exception. Mm-hmm. And that was as a Protestant? Or
yeah. Well, because it was part of, because we did a classical education.
Oh, okay.
And St. Thomas Aquinas would and that philosophy would have been considered part of it.
That's why you turned out so well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, when philosophy stood stainless in honor and wise in judgment, then as facts and constant experience show, the liberal arts flourished as never before or since. Okay. So he's saying other disciplines will flourish when there's a good philosophy. but neglected and almost blotted out, they lay prone since philosophy began to learn to error and join hands with folly. I think that's the answer if you're talking about why are there not better movies being put out by Hollywood, why the trash that we see. It's because the bad philosophy is just permeating the culture in every way. All right, the very last slide. Okay, so here he is. Here's the final one. Let carefully selected teachers endeavor to implant the doctrine of Thomas Aquinas in the minds of students and set forth clearly his solidity and excellence over others. Let the universities already founded or to be founded by you illustrate and defend this doctrine and use it for the refutation of prevailing errors. But lest the false for the true or the corrupt for the pure be drunk in, be ye watchful that the doctrine of Thomas be drawn from its own fountains, or at least from those rivulets which, derived from the very fount, have thus far flowed according to the established agreement of learned men, pure and clear. Be careful to guard the minds of youth from those which are said to flow thence, but in reality are gathered from strange and unwholesome streams. So he's using an analogy here of like water flowing and the water that flows and, kind of permeates into the youth. Be sure that it is solid philosophy according to St. Thomas Aquinas, because otherwise they're going to be affected. So if you had to summarize the whole encyclical, because I only put a very small portion of it on here, what do you think he's saying?
Study St. Thomas Aquinas and teach the youth.
Yeah. So seriously, he would be so proud of this little broadcast. Our little effort here.
Too bad we can't get him on the show either.
Yeah,
we have this list of,
Remember we talked about having an alien.
Aquinas.
Aquinas.
Yeah.
Pope Francis, didn't we talk about having him on one time?
It's hard to get to all these people's PR, people to get through to them.
Yeah, especially the aliens.
Especially
My
the
goodness.
aliens, yeah.
It's almost impossible.
Nearly impossible. So I have
Leo the 13th. Wouldn't it be great to have him on? But
panel of all.
I doubt he spoke English, though. Maybe.
English, one of those little translator boxes.
Yeah.
I am curious because he mentioned in that last bit about how you need to have the right teachers to be teaching this too. Because I think that's one of those things where if we just did a huge overhaul, like right now, like all Catholic schools, you have to have St. Thomas Aquinas philosophy class. I kind of see that would end up quite badly simply because a lot of the teachers would not.
They wouldn't be able to do
properly teach it. You know what I mean? Wouldn't be able to do it, but also I think you have to, the way that you teach St. Thomas Aquinas makes it understandable. But I think there is this thing that especially students would be like, St. Thomas Aquinas, why are we? This thing's really deep and
you also have
dense.
to do it in such a way that's kind of fun and engaging.
You actually get it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So how would you set up a high school class of? You have one. So okay, but it's a little less traditional.
No. What I do is I show a lot of pictures. A lot of analogies, a lot of short clips. I used a lot of text here today, and that would I probably wouldn't do it this way if I was teaching a high school class. I would show more pictures, like when I showed I interrupted and showed the philosophers and kind of engage and that kind of thing. But the class that I teach of high school kids. Because they all, send reviews, and I always ask them to tell me what they think about the class, and a lot of them love it. They think it's very interesting. But no, I would love to train teachers.
Well, that's a dream job right there, right?
Monica Ashour does for Tobit, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Monica has done a great job with
That's her
Tobit.
passion project,
But she realizes she's one person.
Right.
And so she can't be everywhere. And so she's trained people to teach youth. She's trained people to, so that would be a fun thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be it. Because I think there's going to be a greater need for this. I think
100%.
I think they're and in fact I can't give away all my sources, but I talked to a principal of a Catholic school. And actually wasn't a principal, but somebody high up in the school system, and said the philosophy is being entered into the program, and said, we want something like that.
Okay, very nice.
And this was. Somebody that can make it happen. Let's just say that.
Perfect. And so the further that Back to the Father goes and we spread this message, Dave, the more you're just going to get people calling you up like, let's go.
Yeah. Let's. We can have high schools watching Back to the Father.
That's a little terrifying, actually. Teenagers scare me.
You don't like teenagers, huh? All right. Well, that does it for that portion. Are there any other comments or anybody else have anything that they wanted to say?
So far, I'm checking to see. Victor says he has to go and focus on a final, and he hopes that we have a good weekend.
Okay.
And I
Thanks,
said we'll pray
Victor.
for his final. That's always a fun time. And yeah, I don't think we've had any other questions about it.
Okay.
Did you ever?
I guess we're going into trivia. Diane. Remember, here's what Diane's doing. Last week she was late with it, so this week she's early.
She's like next week, which means it's gonna be next week is gonna be just right.
Yeah, just kind of like the Three Little Bears, you know.
I had a thought. Hold on a second. Having to do with what we were.
Yeah, Diane, hold off 1 second on that because you caught Sissel unawares. Okay, so
I couldn't do my cool voice. Oh dear, what was my thought? We were talking about. I was talking about, so the encyclical. Do you think it's one that the Pope Leo XIII's encyclicals are easy ones for just your very average Catholic to just pick up and start reading? Or do you think it's...
No.
Okay.
I don't think any encyclicals
I don't think they are either. I just didn't...
They should really write these differently and make them shorter. I mean, even this one...
Even though they're short, they're still...
Yeah. I mean, you could probably read Aeterni Patris in an hour.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think so. Now, understand it? No.
Yeah, right.
Read
You could probably read it in an hour or two, but some of the ones, be honest, and I'll be honest as well. Have you ever read an encyclical?
Only Humanae Vitae. That's an encyclical, right?
Yeah,
it's a pretty short one, too.
Yeah.
And that one, to me, I think it's because it's a subject that I'm a little bit more, I feel like I have a handle on a little bit more.
And I think Humanae Vitae was a little bit more understandable because it had to do with a
modern
issue in the news, you know. Diane, have you ever read an encyclical, all the way through? No, you haven't. Yeah, I don't think your average person has.
I know that a lot of people nowadays with bloggers and stuff like that, you have people probably interpreting these and helping explain them. But back when when Aeterni Patris was released, do you think that someone would have written to explain?
Well, I mean, people
write a guide to a study of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there would have been some commentary and people, but I think it's mostly the intellectuals that are reading these, the professors at universities, but then they teach their classes.
Got it.
And
so
of
they're
course,
able to
priests,
interpret.
Priests should be reading these, and
Sure.
they should be maybe incorporating it into their homilies and or classes or what have you.
Sure.
Okay. Now, Diane, can we rewind that and let's go ahead and do it now? I'm so excited about trivia.
And now it's that time of the show where I give Dave Summa to think about, and he gives it right back and gets way more passionate about it.
All right. Thank you, Bill Kula.
For coming.
Inspiring us with that.
Absolutely.
So, do you want to go first or second?
Either way, I have 5 questions. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll do mine.
First. Yeah.
Mine's...
Diane, you playing? Okay, Diane's playing. So open up the mic.
Today, because it is the Feast of Our Lady Fatima, I decided to go with a Marian theme.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So I just chose a bunch of questions having to do with Mama Mary. That is from my 1001 Ultimate Catholic Trivia questions. So
5 questions. Okay, Diane and I are going head to head.
Yes.
Okay.
Now all these have
going down, Xavier.
They have something to do with Mama Mary. Doesn't mean it's directly. It's going to have to do. So in addition to the Blessed Virgin Mary, which saint is depicted in artwork more than any other saint?
Ooh, other than Mother Mary,
yes.
Which saint? Okay, so
that would be too easy if I just said which saint. Which saint is it? You say.
I'm gonna say
Saint Therese.
I'm gonna say Saint Francis of Assisi.
Both of you are wrong.
Oh,
it is Santa Claus.
Oh, really? Santa Claus?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Ah.
Random fact for you today.
I would not have thought that.
Me neither. Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay.
Now, the reason I wouldn't have said Therese is that she's so
new. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's getting probably in a few hundred years. You could probably.
See, maybe if somebody had said, the last 30 years or 20 years, but okay. So, if you're counting at home, we're 0 for 1.
Yes, exactly. The first apparition of the Blessed Virgin Mary appeared in 352 AD to an elderly couple requesting them to build a shrine on Rome's Esquiline Hill. Name this apparition. I kind of get thrown back to Sherathon when we get our Marian challenges.
Yeah, so Anne Marie is all
So
of a sudden,
352, the first apparition of the Blessed Virgin Mary.
Our Lady of, is that what it is? Something like that?
Hold on a second. I lost my answer. So
Oh, that doesn't work.
You could possibly be right. Yes, you are on the right.
Let's see.
Victory. Our Lady Victory.
Our
Good guess.
Lady of Jerusalem.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
it
No,
has
Our
to
Lady
do
of
with-
Rome.
It has to do with weather. If that's
Our
okay.
Lady of the Storm.
No. Our Lady of Snow, of the Snows.
Our snows. That was the first one.
Yeah. According to this little book, has not
Okay.
been fact checked.
Yeah. All right. Our Lady of the Snows.
So for counting at home, we've not gotten it. Any of
Okay.
these right. All right. In 1531, San Juan Diego saw visions of Mary by the ruins of a shrine destroyed by the Spanish and renamed Guadalupe. To whom was the shrine originally dedicated?
Originally dedicated.
Originally dedicated.
Okay. To some like Aztec god or something.
And can you be a little
Is
more
it like
specific?
a crazy name? Like
No, you're on the
TK
right path, but can you be more specific about what kind of Aztec god, maybe?
The god. I mean the Aztec god. I mean the god.
God.
I mean their god.
It is the Aztec corn harvest goddess.
The corn harvest goddess.
I can't believe y'all didn't get that.
You said these were going to be easy.
I didn't say that.
These are. Oh, you didn't.
I did
okay.
not say that they were easy.
Maybe I thought it. I thought they were going to be easy. No, I said mine are going to be easy.
Yes, you did. Okay. One last one. Where in France did an apparition of the Blessed Virgin Mary, followed by numerous accounts of miraculous healings, occur
Lourdes.
in 1846 to two shepherd children, Melanie Calvat and Maximin Gerard?
Yeah. Diane, you know it wasn't going to be that easy, right?
She had to try.
So,
She
but
had to
that
try.
was close because Lourdes was.
Yeah, it wasn't that long
like-
distance
yeah.
between.
Is this really obscure? Have I ever
I've heard of it. I've heard of it, but I don't know if that means that you heard
Okay. I have no idea.
La Salette.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I figured
Now
you'd
that
heard
one
of it. Yeah,
that one
La
I should
Salette.
have gotten that. Yeah.
My trivia today was just educating everybody on things.
And humiliating.
Yes,
Edu-
well,
educating and humiliating.
it'll make me look even better later on.
Yeah. That's
Sorry.
That's all right.
I wanted to do Marian theme. They just weren't all that easy.
Yeah, no, La Salette. I think
Basically, I had to go between questions like that or the questions of who are Mary's parents.
Yeah, that'd
It
be
was
too
like
easy.
too
See, but
easy.
by the time you got to that last one that I should have gotten,
Yeah.
you had totally broken me down.
Your spirit
and,
was
my-
destroyed.
I
I'm
had
so
I had
sorry.
Absolutely no confidence. Okay, so I told you
good guesses,
you're
Buddy, by the way.
you're gonna like this one. Is
Okay.
Buddy guessing?
He guessed, yeah, on the last
Okay,
one.
so Diane, if you want to jump in on this, this is going to be whoever gets it first.
Oh,
Okay, and this has to do with animals in the Bible.
Oh, okay.
And it's interesting. I told you you're going to like
okay,
this.
interesting.
Now,
Okay.
and animal references in the Bible. And the reason, interestingly, that I picked this, because I always like to tie it in somehow, is that who was the author of the encyclical that I focused on today?
Pope Leo XIII.
And what is Leo typically
A
associate?
lion.
A lion. And I thought like
It's
I thought,
Latin for lion.
Yeah, I thought like lion trivia. Okay, so I figured.
I like.
Okay,
you
so
went a very interesting way to interpret
okay,
that.
so there's 10 of these, and let's see who can get the most. Ready?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. What animal supplied food for Elijah in 1 Kings 17?
Oh, no.
What animal? First to get it.
Sheep.
Okay, well, and if anybody out there in social media land gets it
Yeah,
first,
hold on a second.
they well, okay, that's I thought you
that one is one that I remember, but I'm not remembering what it was. I'm
Let's
getting
see if,
confused with other ones, so I'm because it.
Okay, so all right, so I
Sorry,
okay,
that's
it
bad.
was a raven.
It was a raven. That's
Okay,
right.
so
That's right, God
raven.
sent a
Okay.
raven.
Okay, so some of these are a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Aaron's staff turns
Snake. Snake. I'm like,
All
I won't
right.
get it.
Okay, Diane's like, whoa, did we just have a question here? Okay, name the two types of bird that Noah sent
A
out.
dove and a pigeon, turtle dove and a
That sent out to
yeah,
find dry
a
land.
turtle dove and a It wasn't. What was something else besides a dove?
Yeah, he sent one out and it came back.
But I thought it was two doves.
No,
Wait.
no. He sent one out and it came back. Then he sent a dove, and it didn't come back.
Okay.
I'm watching you guys out there.
Crow, a
social
seagull.
media
I'm just gonna
land.
name
A raven?
Yeah, Diane.
I
come on.
almost guessed a raven again, but I was like, no, a dove and a crow
so
is what Buddy guessed.
2 out of 3 of the answers so far have
Yeah.
been raven.
Any more ravens? Can I ask them?
If there's hold on one second. Pardon me.
I don't know why I forgot that it was. For some
okay.
reason in my head, I always pictured that was 2 doves. One dove just never came back.
Okay, so now this one.
Okay.
What kind of animal spoke in the story of Balaam?
Oh, the donkey.
Yeah, okay. You know that? Do that one, Diane? Okay, so Balaam. So Sissel got this. Sissel and Diane together got 3. Okay. Peter finds a coin in what kind of animal's mouth?
A calf? No. What is the?
A fish?
Diane for the win.
Fish.
Yeah.
Go, Diane.
Remember Jesus said, "Go throw your line out and bring one in, and you'll find a coin." So, all right. Well, Sissel, you better be
I'm not
worried
doing
here.
very well. Yeah.
Okay, because that one where you guys got Raven and Dove, I'm actually going to give that to Diane. So you guys are 2-2 right now. I want to make a good competition here. Okay. What kind of animal assisted in Elijah ascending into heaven? Elijah ascended into heaven.
Was it a horse?
Yes.
Okay.
A chariot of fire.
A chariot of fire. I was like, it's a chariot, so I'm assuming a horse, but I was like, is this a trick question? I question everything now.
Okay. Jesus sent demons into a herd of what kind of animal?
Pig?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
pigs.
Okay.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Oh wow, this is actually good. It's 3
This
to
is
3.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I'm playing it cool, Dave.
Well, yeah, very cool. Yeah, very cool. Okay, 3 more. Okay, this one's really interesting. Okay, one day Samson's father-in-law, a Philistine, prevented Samson from seeing his wife. So Samson took personal revenge by tying the tails of 300 blanks in pairs, attaching a torch between each pair of tails. What kind of animal? He
Wasn't
took
snakes, was it?
I'm sorry?
Snakes.
Foxes?
Is
Yes.
Diane looking at a list of like animal references in the Bible?
Diane, are you cheating?
No, I'm trying to run back and forth with the right and wrong answer and guessing. Well, I
I
studied
am
a little
so-
bit of this in CCD.
Oh, wow.
Diane's got you 4 to 3.
I am like, what? My brain
Okay.
is like still catching up on like what animals. I'm trying to picture which animals could be tied together.
You're still thinking of Aeterni Patris.
Yeah, I am. My brain is not
Okay,
here.
but the good thing is you have very good knowledge of scripture. And
Yeah.
So okay, so all right, so only 2 more. No, actually, yeah, 2 more. What kind of creature bit St. Paul?
A snake?
Whoa, you guys got it
Yeah,
at the
I was
exact
gonna
same
say.
time.
I was like, it's got to be a snake.
Okay, so we're going to give that to Sissel just to make it a tie game,
Interesting.
okay? All right, so we're down to the last
Oh,
one. So, Diane, you
no.
went to CCD and learned all this stuff, huh?
A lot of it, yes.
Yeah, see the advantage of being a Catholic at a young age. Okay, so here we go. Last one. This is an interesting story. And you can throw out the answer anytime you want, okay? For all the marbles, okay?
I can't take the pressure.
As Elisha traveled from Jericho to Bethel, a group of young boys mocked him, saying, "Get out of here, Baldy." What animal came out and mauled the
A
group
lion.
the group of boys to
No.
death after Elisha cursed them?
It wasn't a lion.
No. After Elisha cursed them, and 2 animals came out and mauled 42 boys to death.
Is it a feline of any kind?
A fox?
A wolf.
A wolf.
No.
Gosh, I don't
I
remember.
think of the word maul. What kind of animal mauls?
I think of a lion on
A
it.
Tiger.
No. Are we going to have to leave it at the tie game? Okay, let me see if anybody out there is getting it.
Yeah, see if Buddy has.
Okay, so Buddy got snake, a dove, and he said a crow.
Yeah, he's got this.
A crow and a raven's the same thing, aren't they?
I have
Is-
no idea. I'm not
okay.
good with birds. Clearly.
Bear? I don't know.
He
A bear?
got,
Yeah.
Well, Buddy's getting them all. Donkey, fish,
Is it a dog?
horse,
Bear?
swine. Let me see if he got this one. Okay, Buddy said lion,
He
dog.
said dog.
Okay, nobody got this
Wait,
one.
okay, hold
But
on.
Who said bear?
We both said bear. Bear.
Okay.
Beer, bear. Beer.
Okay,
A beer came in wrong.
No,
We can
no,
give it to
I
Diane.
know it's close to the weekend,
Yeah,
Sissel, but come on. Can you just wait a couple hours? Okay, so
man.
it was a bear, a bear.
A bear. A beer. Bear.
A bear. So,
A bear
okay,
with a
Buddy
beer
said
belly.
dog. Okay, so that
A
was
bear.
that was
Wow,
fun.
that's good. I'm clearly not good with animals in the Bible. I was hoping you were gonna be like, locusts and honey and like
Yeah,
things.
maybe you missed that day of Sunday school.
I must have.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So I guess Diane's
the crown the winner this time.
Diane, the reigning champion. Congratulations.
Go Diane.
Diane just kind of sits back there.
Great memory of the animals in her book.
All right. And we are out of time. And so thank you very much for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week for the next edition of Back to the Father.
Bye.
Here on the Guadalupe Radio Network social media sites. Have a good weekend. Our Lady Fatima, please pray for us.
Thanks for joining us for Back to the Father. And don't forget, the glory of God is the human person fully alive. If you have comments about the show, email Dave Palmer at grnonline.com.